Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here. And, okay, I just want to jump into this video real quick so I could jump in and then jump back out. All right. So, I'm in the process of, I'm on the road today, so I am not going to be able to stay long. And I recorded a video earlier talking about traits that we can look for in ourselves to know whether or not we're toxic. And so I have to edit that video and then upload that video, so I don't know when it'll be up. So good afternoon, everyone. So I just wanted to make this video real quick to kind of give you something to think about while we're in the interim of waiting for that video to come up. All right, so question that I have for you all: are you the toxic friend? So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to take some time to just really kind of look within yourself to see if this sounds familiar to you, either from your own standpoint or from friends of yours that you've had. Okay. So if people are constantly doing you wrong, taking advantage of you, and taking advantage of your kindness, mistreating you and discarding you, using you, if people are constantly doing that, then I would gather that you are the toxic friend. If people are constantly the assailants and you are the victim, then you are, oh goodness, LaRon wants to call in. You know, you all are going to make me late. You're going to make me late. Let me turn on the Wi-Fi. Hold on. Y'all going to make me late. But you see, like, you see, like, what, you see how, what it is that I just said and what we're doing, yet I'm turning on the Wi-Fi. Now, I'm about to turn on the phone line so that LaRon can call in. However, if after the fact I start blaming the lateness on LaRon or anybody else for the decision that I made, then I am the toxic one because I am absolving myself of all culpability and putting it on other people when we make conscientious effort to participate in our relationships in the ways that we do. So I'm going to turn on the phone line and I'm going to accept calls in, but that's something that I'm doing that is a choice. I am making that choice to do that. We're grown, you know, and I would say that, and you know what? And my niece is a very responsible young lady who treats her life very valuably. And part of the reason is because from the time that she was young, um, I explained to her about her actions affect her life and how she's in creation of how she wants her life to be. And so let me get this. Hold on. And so we have people who give submissions for the dust hour, and they don't really realize how they participate. Like one young lady was like, he forced me to pay the bill. Did he take your head, slam it down on the table, pull out your wallet, rip your wallet from your hands and give it to the waiter? No, that didn't happen. However, we use words like what people have done to us, how we've been forced into this, how people have taken advantage of us. And we've all had friends like that. And if you come into contact with a person who is always the victim in their relationships, you better beware, because when they start telling that story to somebody else in the future, you're going to be just another assailant in their victim trilogy. All right. Where's this thing? Hold on. I'm trying to get inside the thing now. I'm trying to switch over. Okay. So, what is going on here, LaRon Gay Boo? You have a gay boo in the audience, LaRon? Or are you telling somebody, you calling somebody boo and telling them that you're gay? I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Marilyn is saying you have people like that in your life. Okay, phone lines are open. Let me get the Bluetooth on. Somebody had the nerve. Did you all hear how somebody was laughing at my Bluetooth, talking about I had a boombox and laughing at it? I'm like, this is smart. It gets the job done, mother effers. You go on over there. I have expensive equipment, but I don't use that because all them mixing boards and all of that, when I got me my little boombox right here, I got this before Kmart went bankrupt. So I'm glad I got that. And you know what? I got that boombox in that Walmart that person shot up a few weeks ago. I got it at that same Walmart and I in El Paso because I told you all I'd be doing some government work. 'Cause, I'd be giving my time to a good cause. So I was out there in the deserts of El Paso. I went to go get me a boombox. And I got this. Okay, so phone lines are open 323-488-3149. Let's see. And somebody said they never thought about it in that way. What way did you not think about it? It's hot out here in these desert streets, I tell you that much. 48 laws of power. Don't put too much trust in friends. I don't trust Robert Greene. That man sound crazy. Oh, excuse me. So somebody said, I think LaRon liketh you, and you're going to tell them LaRon gay, boo? Listen, yes, LaRon likes me. And I like LaRon too. Ain't no shame in admitting that. Come on now, what that got to do with heterosexuality? Didn't nobody say nothing about no penis and vagina? That's what's wrong with you people out there nowadays. These phone lines are open, and if you don't call LaRon, we calling you because you're the one who had us turn these on. So I'm blaming you. Let's go. Wait, let me make sure the Bluetooth is on. Talking about LaRon gay. What that got to do with anything? Hello?
Hey, Tonya, this is LaRon.
You don't liketh me? What's going on?
Huh?
You don't liketh me? What's up with that?
Uh,
Huh?
oh, I'm sorry. I just switched over from the. I was watching you, and then I switched over to my phone. So
I'm reading
I
you
probably
for filth right now.
What did you say?
I'm reading you for filth. That's what I'm doing. I want
Let me
to.
put my headphones on so I can hear you
Yeah,
because I got
put
you on
it on so
speaker.
you can hear.
I think I'm missing some tidbits.
Yeah, you missing something, all right.
Okay.
You got your
I
work.
love this.
You got your work headset on.
Oh, I'm actually off today, and now I got to get my alternator repaired. So I actually got to go in a few minutes too because now have to take a Uber to Advance Auto to buy a new alternator.
Why are you not changing that alternator yourself? You's a man, right? I changed my
I know
alternator and my fuel filter in a big diesel truck.
you did.
Well, not the alternator. I changed the
Wow.
alternator in the Ford Explorer. I changed my fuel filter in this big diesel truck. That's why when I put up my book yesterday and I had black stuff under my nails, I was like, oh, because I've been doing stuff with my car. I can't let the people know that the lady likeness is, I gotta hide it. So anyway, I'm reading you for filth right now because somebody inside the audience was like, oh, they think LaRon liketh me, and you're gonna be like, I'm gay, boo. What that got to do with you liking me?
Right, but maybe I think the context that they said it in, I maybe
How
felt like
you
they
know
said
what
that I
you don't
liked you
like
less.
me? You don't like me? You afraid to say
Of
that?
course I do.
Oh, say
Of
it out
course
loud
I
then. Say
do.
it out loud, LaRon. Say it. I'm
I
listening.
love you, Tonya.
Okay. Now, exactly. Exactly. I don't know what's going on.
Now
Why
let's
you
get into specifics.
Okay, go ahead. You don't need to get into
I
any
lo-
specific. You just need to leave it at that. The sentence is done. Now let's go forward into the topic. Let's go forward. Now you wanted to call
right,
in to talk about are you the toxic one? Now I'm trying to figure that out about you.
right. I don't think that I'm the toxic friend. I often end up being the friend that people take advantage of. And when I seen the topic like flash across my screen that you was on, I immediately clicked it because I wanted to call in. So
So you feel that you're the friend that people are constantly taking advantage of. Tell us more.
yeah, and what made me really think about it the other day is when you had mentioned to me about the whole, like, the situation with your book. It made me realize me myself doing my own business and having a friend down here in Houston who I try to ask her for help with my cookie business, and she always makes it seem like she's going to help me, but then she never comes through on it. So it's like I feel like she looks at my business as a hobby, but then when it starts to grow and I leave her behind, then I'm going to be the one who changes.
Okay,
Example,
help me put two and two together. How does this relate to our topic?
because I feel like I'm always getting people who are not always getting people, but I feel like as far as like in the friend sector, for example, last weekend I had like 12 orders I had to deliver. I asked my friend, I said, hey, can you help me with deliveries? I'll let you, keep all of the delivery fees. It's like $6 to $7 per delivery fee. I don't care about that as long as you can help me and I can fulfill my order. She said,
Uh-huh.
so she's one of those friends who we read each other's iMessages, right? So she never read my message. And then on Monday, I had happened to go over to a coworker desk, and she was telling me how this girl was sending her messages back and forth. Now, my coworker's from Brooklyn. We're both down here from the state of New York, and my coworker's like, she's trying too hard to be my friend. So I'm hurt because I'm like, this is a person who I'm thinking is my friend who didn't read my message, but in turn is reaching out to somebody who doesn't even care for them. And I confronted her about that too. I said, I'm really hurt about that. I said, you look at what I'm doing as a hobby. And I said, you didn't even respond to my message. Like certain friends you have that relationship where you respond back to. She was like that. But then I think a lot of things changed for her where, I don't know. A lot of things changed with her because she just started dating this guy and he's immediately in front of her daughters now. It's like things are changing with her, but I just felt I was let down by my friend reaching out to somebody. You're forcing a relationship with this girl and she's like not want to be your friend. Like she's a Dominican girl down here from New York. She's very strong, close to her family. She's not looking like she's just sweating her too much. And the girl's like, yo, Kiera is trying too hard. Like, she kept sending me like 5 messages. And I said, wow, she sent you 5 messages and I didn't even get a response for help on my delivery for my business because you don't take it serious. So when you confronted me the other day, I didn't take it personal because I do care for you like that. So I said, I was wrong and I should have then got your book. But I made sure I came through when I could. But I said, she's never even made an order from me. Like, these are people at work who don't even like talk to me like that on the outside. They're always ordering from me. Like you, my friend, and you didn't order from my business one time. That hurts. So I feel
Okay.
like yeah.
Well, you know what? And okay. I'm sorry. I just I'm confused at what you're confused by. I'm confused by what you're confused by.
So when I confronted her about this the other day, she was just like, you're really busy in your life, and I'm busy in my life too. I got this guy I'm dating, but it was never. I said, wow, Kiera. I said, no ownership, no apology. You never read my message. That's like you sending me a message and I don't respond to it, and we have that relationship where we have that banter that goes back and forth always. And then you're reaching out to somebody who basically
Yeah,
sees the enemy.
you know what? And I think that this is high time that you took a look at yourself because and I made that statement and I made that statement in the beginning of this video and I mean that very much from the bottom of my heart that the victim mentality, like the victim, if you're always the victim and people are always taking advantage of you, that you are the toxic friend. And I think that this is a real good opportunity for you to look at yourself right now. Number one, does any human being owe you a purchase from your business or help with your business? Does any human being on earth besides you owe that to you?
No, but we had sort of a business conversation where I was like, "You're a single mom. I'm down here. I believe
Listen,
in my
listen to what
product." And
listen to what it is that I'm saying. Listen to what it is that I'm saying, right?
mhm.
Answer the questions, the yes or no question. Does anyone owe you?
Well, I felt
Yes,
that she had a
excuse
commitment
me,
because
excuse me, excuse
yes,
me. You feel
yes.
that people owe you.
If you commit
Okay,
to something, I
okay,
think you
okay.
do.
So listen, and that's great. Answer how you feel. So if somebody owes you and they don't give you what they owe you, what is your next move? What's your next move?
Vacate.
Okay, okay, okay. So at the end of the day, how often? Look, I was about to make a reference, but you're gay, so I don't know how it's gonna go over. But I'm like, how often do you turn around, bend over? I'm sorry. But how many times do you continue to do that and allow a person to run up in with no Vaseline. How often, how much longer do we do that without taking the power and the ownership into our own hands? How much longer?
Right.
So it's
I mean,
like,
I guess.
so if somebody owes you, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm gonna let you speak. But if somebody owes you and they're not giving you what they owe you, how long do you stay there being a victim? How long? And if somebody doesn't
Right.
owe you and you feel that they do owe you and they're not coming through with what you feel that they owe you, then how much longer do you stay there in this relationship whining and wallowing about how much this person hurt you and how the enemy and they with somebody else and somebody else don't even really like them and they ain't read your message and this, that, and the other? It's like, are you okay with the type of relationship that you have? If you're not okay with the type of relationship that you have, what can you, as a grown person who is in a voluntary relationship, you don't have no papers on this person did not walk down no aisle or go to the courthouse with you and make no promises on paper. Do you have a business agreement in writing? And if you do, then you go through the necessary steps to get what it is that you feel that you are owed. If you don't have no papers on this person and you're not happy with the way that things are going, what can you, as a grown ass man and a big bad New Yorker, what can you do?
Right. Well, that's the way. I feel you, Tonya, and I feel everything that you're saying, but I'm always a friend. You know what I do? I feel like people are weak. Like, some people told me, like, when I spoke to my one friend, she said, you shouldn't even have said nothing to her. Just walk off. I'm always the person that, even if you hurt my feelings, I don't have to come to you and curse you out like, Tonya, you didn't do X, Y, Z. I sent her a nice message. I said, it really hurt my feelings. I said, I really looked at you as, like, a friend. I give you advice. She comes to me and, we exchange. And for you to just let me down, I was like, it's okay. I said, you know what I told her? I said, you are going to be a part of my success story. Believe that. So I left on a high note. And
That
I
ain't
do
no
believe
high
that.
note.
Because I believe it. Because let me tell you something, Tanya. If I was bringing in a lot more money than I am now, I think I'm doing okay to just start. But she would be more on board. But people don't believe in your dream until it gets to that level, and then they're like, "Oh, I see it now." It's too late.
You know what?
That's all right.
You know what? And I need to do better and be better, because it's like you're not understanding. It's like a wall is up. You're not understanding. You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
I understand. I understand what you mean, especially when you express like you don't have anything in writing. I understand that. I get what you're saying, like the technicalities of it. But I'm just saying, from a person, if you think that, like, I'm pretty sure the same way you felt towards me, like, yo, LaRon, you're in my videos all the time. Why you ain't pick the book up?
No,
I get it.
no, you don't. You don't. You don't get it. You don't.
So
You don't.
what do you think I'm missing?
Listen, because I have no attachment to whether or not you get the book or you got the book. It's information. It's information, right?
Hmm.
And I have to be the one willing to deal with the information that I'm receiving. I wrote to you when I was doing the fundraiser for the book. I wrote to you when I did the fundraiser for the book. You ignored my message for the fundraiser. You ignored my message. Okay?
I don't. I don't think I
You
don't think that. I
you
don't think that. I don't.
ignored my message. Any moment after that I continued to associate with you was my choice. I volunteer in this relationship. It was my choice. If I was going to hold on to some sort of resentment or have some sort of feeling about it, then it would have been my choice to speak up about that.
Okay. But that's your angle on it. And I think somebody wrote in the comments yesterday, and it really, like, it's me. I can't deny. Like, I know the things about me that I need to work on. Responded, Tanya, to be honest, I know you. We get so many emails. I don't think the right adjective is that I ignored your message. It's probably just had to. I get so many messages a day in my email. And it's right that I probably didn't look at it, but trust me, I'm always here to support you. So I
You
can't let that.
know,
I can't let the way that you. I can't let the way that you said that make me feel like that's the truth, because it's not. I probably just overlooked it. Some things are really not that deep, and you see as soon as you shouldn't have had to call me out, but I made it right, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that you can do is to somebody you really love and that you really support, make it right. Don't I could have some people are just like, oh, she got no. No, this is somebody that I feel like you giving me a lot. And I feel like I owe that back to you. I feel that way. Nothing to do with
Okay,
you.
yeah, but LaRon, I feel like you're not getting it. Because look, if this relationship with this woman and you is not working, go find a relationship that does work for you. The other day you were talking about how oh, if someone doesn't call you or text you every day, you're gone, you're out of the relationship. Yet, however, you're in this relationship with this young lady and she's ignoring your messages. She's not helping you. She's not giving you what you feel a friend should give you. And you're wallowing and complaining about somebody who's not giving you what you need. If you know that that's what you need, if you know that that's what your expectation is, then go where you are getting what it is that you need.
Right. But I don't think I'm wallowing. I think that I'm one of those people where if you even get to that level of somebody I consider as a friend, that would let you down. I mean, I think that would let anybody down if you know that somebody that you considered a friend and they're not just, it's life and you're going to continue to keep going forward. But I was just voicing, my opinion about it because I think
Right,
toxic
but
friends, and I felt like,
yeah, but LaRon, look at what it is that you're saying. You're going on about how you're the friend people take advantage of. How long you going to be there bent over with no Vaseline talking about people taking advantage of you? At some point, you got to pull up your drawers and be like, no, this ain't going to happen this way.
right,
And
do that.
it's like, listen, I may have been joking with you on the computer the other day, right? But if I had any type of animosity about that, right? If I knew that that was a prerequisite, then let it be a prerequisite. Let me cut you off then. If it really is a prerequisite, let me cut you off. Because how are you going to have people that have contact to you who are not meeting up to their prerequisites? How? How?
But I don't think that applies to me, though.
How?
Because it doesn't. That doesn't apply to me because I just don't think that it does. I don't really want to discuss it over the air, but it doesn't apply to me because I may have not gotten your book, but I've done other things in the past to support you. So that doesn't really apply to me. I don't really want to talk
You
about
know,
that
you
because
know,
that's what really kind of got me.
you,
That got me angry, honestly, when you even confronted me because I felt like as much as I might have not done as much as other people, but every time that you've had something from the beginning to the end, I've supported it. So that kind of hurt me. So I made sure I did right by when I could. But we don't know a lot of stuff that our friends deal with in the background. Like I'm running a business, putting my own money into it. Like we don't know what everybody's bank account balance is. So I think it's okay to prompt your friends and send them reminders and stuff, but to say, hey, you didn't get this, you didn't get that, that could take a toll on the person.
okay, well, you know what? I'm sorry if you felt
You don't have to
hurt.
be sorry.
Listen, I'm sorry if you felt hurt. I was joking. Hello? Hello? I know. I know we didn't just get hung up on. I know. Listen, I know. I know we didn't get hung up on. That must have been the wind. Something must have something. A squirrel attack. Something. The wind must have blown down the cell tower in the area because I know. I know. I know. I know.
Sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Bye.
The cell tower must be down. The cell tower must have blown into that area, or his phone died or something. Because I know, I know. Listen, I know we didn't just get hung up on. I know for a fact. So, no, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Right? I'll say this, as I was saying when the tower went down in that area, right? I'll say this. I'll say this. I I'm sorry, LaRon, if you felt some sort of way on the broadcast, right? I am not responsible for your feelings, and you are not responsible for mine. If I'm sorry if you took my joke some sort of way, I was laughing when I said it. And the book has been out for so long now that we have to take responsibility for ourselves and how we choose to navigate behind the scenes. You don't owe anybody your money, and I don't owe anybody mine. Nobody owes you their money. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. And we're going to take the next caller because we don't know what happened to his phone, right? He did sound a little beleaguered at the end, right? And so this is what I'm saying. People who are the toxic friend, they can't see it. However, I implore you that if you are the one that you feel that somebody is always quote unquote taking advantage of you, take a long, hard look at yourself because you may be the toxic friend. No, 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 no. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. If everybody, in your opinion, is always taking advantage of you, or even if the majority of your friends are taking advantage of you, then I'm going to say that you are the toxic one because you're not taking responsibility. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
Hey, Tanya, it's Daisy.
Hey, Daisy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You're one of the people that I was hard on one time online, right? On the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Got my life together, but, I took your advice and I definitely, reevaluated myself.
All right. Well, high five on that one. High five on that one. So, Mama, what you calling in about today?
Well, I'm calling today in regards to this being a toxic friend thing.
Yeah.
I know I've had toxic friend traits. And I saw someone in the chat say they put themselves on time out so that they can get themselves together. That's currently what I'm doing right now, which is why I was kind of grateful for you going off on me because it made me realize that I have this arrogance, like I know everything when I really don't. A quick story. Recently, me and
Hold on. We're about to get a quick story. Let me make sure the volume is up. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So one of my best friends from high school, I recently stopped being friends with her because we got into she was talking to a guy, a group of friends.
Hold on. I'm sorry. LaRon is writing in the comments. You're going into timeout, LaRon, because you don't get to hang up on me and then think that you're gonna come and try to express yourself in the comments. You don't get to do that. You out of here right now. You out of here.
Oh.
All right, sorry, Daisy. Give me 1 second. I think I pressed the wrong button for LaRon. I just wanted to put him in a timeout, but I think I blocked him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, LaRoni. I'm sorry. I meant the thing was moving too fast. Hold on. I just wanted to put him in a timeout. Daisy, I'm so sorry. Hold on for just one moment. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to unblock him, but it's not. Well, you know what? Listen, we can't put ourselves in positions where people even want to put you in a timeout because anything can happen. Anything can happen. So I'm going to find your
Right?
channel later on, LaRon, and I'm going to unblock you. But you don't get to hang up on me. And then I'm over here thinking that some windstorm happened and blew down the cell tower in your area. I'm thinking something happened to you. And then here you come, show back up in the comments. No, sir. No, go that way. Nothing, no, go, so, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Woosah. Anyway, so listen. Come on, a Daisy. Start from the top. Start from the top.
All right, so me and a friend of mine, we recently stopped being friends, or I just stopped being her friend because our group of friends kind of fizzled out over the past couple of months to a year because she was talking to a guy. She was kind of the abrasive friend where she felt like everyone owed her something. And, we were her friends, but we tried to let her know, like, hey, you're being too abrasive. People are people, talk to people like how people want to be talked to or how you would like to be talked to. And she would say that's just how she is. So we accepted her for how she is. We stopped, getting on her like that. So she was having guy issues and guy problems. And we would advise her, like, hey, stop talking to these guys. They know each other. You stop talking to them, they're going to be talking about you. You know how we do as girls, guys are going to do the same thing. So a few months after us as friends telling her that, she finds out, well, one of our friends saw one of the guys, and he told her, oh, yeah, we be passing her around. We be talking about her, and she was messing with both of them. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So I'm looking at your face right now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, ridiculous. But, so they were, talking about they were passing her around. She was a little slow, whatever. So one of our friends came to me, and she told me, hey, this is what I heard. This is what he told me. And I was like, oh, my gosh. I don't know how to tell her because she told me she stopped talking to me. So I kept it to myself for a while, and I would ask her, like, hey, are you still talking to these guys? She would tell me no. Come to find out, she was still talking to them. So one of our other friends told her, like, hey, like, oh, we didn't know you were still talking to this guy. I'm trying to get to it. So we were talking to this guy, and she blew up on all of us. So she was like, oh, y'all all knew that this guy was talking about me. Nobody told me. And it was like, no, somebody told me this wasn't who you expected to tell you. I didn't know how to tell you. I apologize for not telling you. I apologize to her and everything. So after apologizing to her, I tried to, talk to her here and there, but she wasn't, like, responding to me. So I had realized she was talking to some other people in the group, and after, realizing she was talking to other people, I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be the closest out of everyone. What's going on? So I asked her. She didn't reply to me. I went into our group chat, and I messaged her and asked her, hey, what's going on? And then she told me she was trying to stop being my friend because of what happened. So then I told her, I said, okay, that's fine. If you don't want to be my friend anymore, I understand. So then later on, she calls me and she's like, oh, well, she starts cussing me out, telling me that I'm a bitch, I'm this, I'm that, all this stuff because nobody told her. I said, okay, well, you know what, sis, you're blocked. I can't be your friend anymore if this is how you feel. So after that, I stopped talking to her, but now she's trying to talk to my boyfriend on the side, and my boyfriend's like, why are you talking to me? And she's like, oh, no, we were friends before y'all got together. I'm just trying to stay friends. So he told her, no, I'm good on that. So I addressed that situation.
Daisy, how much longer is this story going to go on? I'm trying to get to the part how it gets to you. How does this come back to you being a toxic friend?
I'm getting to the end of it.
Are you the toxic friend in this story?
I am.
Okay.
Honestly, I am, because after that, I went off on her in the group chat, pretty much telling her, like, who is she to be talking to my boyfriend and stuff like that. So after that, I had to sit back and realize that, it was just a whole bunch of drama that she was trying to start for no reason because she still had animosity towards me because of the whole situation. So I apologize. I had to apologize and say, you know what, I shouldn't have reacted in that way. And after that, I just cut everybody off in general. So right now I'm at a point where I'm just working on myself and, not allowing people that don't need to be in my life. So I was just talking about how I was a toxic person toxic friend to her and other people, but also being toxic to myself because I was keeping people close to me that really didn't care about me in the first place.
Oh, thank you for the climax of the story. Thank you. Oh, that took almost 8 minutes. All right. So let's rewind. People want to know how old you all are.
22.
Okay, so you all are really young. So she's in her early 20s as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying that you were a toxic friend to her by not telling her, and okay, all right. So okay, all right. Bring it home for us, Daisy. Bring it home. Bring it home.
Oh, yes. My advice to just everyone is just more so like a lot of the times we may think that people are hurting us, but we are the ones hurting ourselves. If we sit back and look at that, it's more so evaluate yourself and your role in the relationship, like you're pretty much saying, so that you can say, okay, this is where I messed up. This is where I need to stop. This is where I need to put that barrier and that boundary and create boundaries in your friendship.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And you cut off all of them, so there were no good people in that group. Everyone.
No, I didn't cut everyone off. Just everyone that was trying to flip the situation. That's all. It was a lot more. I didn't want to get much into it, but just
Okay.
more so people that were trying to flip the situation.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Did you get what you needed from this phone call?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Daisy, we look forward to hearing the next chapter of what happens next. Good luck with finding new people who honor you in your private life. Okay?
All right. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, the phone lines are open. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Phone lines are open. There's 204 people on this broadcast. How interesting. Only 57 thumbs up, so go ahead and thumbs up the video. It matters for the YouTube algorithm. If you don't see the area to thumbs up, just close out the chat area and then click the thumbs up. Queen says, I miss LaRon. Yes, we all miss LaRon. It was just supposed to be a little timeout, but the finger slipped. I'm gonna have to try to find him somehow. I'm gonna have to try to find him. All right, so listen, the phone lines are open. I'm gonna take one more phone call and then I'm gonna jump out of here. Like I said, I'm on the road today, so I have to go do the things that I need to do to do what it is that I need to do. So my assertion to everyone out there is, if you are the friend that everyone takes advantage of, at some point you really have to look at yourself and figure out what is it that you're doing. How are you participating in your own getting taken advantage of? How are you contributing? How are you perpetuating that? Because it's like, once is an incident, twice a coincidence, but by the time we get to three or more, it's a pattern. And why is it that you're involved in a pattern that you are constantly, quote unquote, being taken advantage of? If that is your MO, I highly recommend that you start looking at how it is that you're doing things so that you can figure out how to make that shift. Okay? So listen, on that note, the phone lines are open. I'm gonna take one more phone call. So someone had a best friend who was a frenemy. I was the only one who didn't know. I eventually cut her off, and she sends me a wedding invite with a GoFundMe registration 2 years later. Oh wow. You're on the air live with Tonya.
Hi, Tonya. This is Monica from New Jersey.
Hey Monica, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. And yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm sure you're calling in to talk about this whole toxic friend
Yes,
thing.
because this topic actually hits home for me and my best friend. We were best friends for 18 years.
Hold on. Before we get into another story, are you going to tell a story about you being the toxic friend?
No.
Okay, so then let's shift.
Actually, no. It's not a long story. It's a real quick breakdown. But with our experience, we basically, after 18 years, we basically hit a point where I think we both realized that we were both toxic.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
You
sorry.
know,
I'm sorry, Monica.
man.
I've made a promise to myself that I am going to honor the broadcast, myself and your time. So if you are going to tell any story, it's going to need to be a story about you being in that space of being the constant victim of people constantly taking advantage of you. Is that what your story is about?
Ma'am.
Huh?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so go ahead then.
So basically, me and my best friend for, like I said, 18 years, we always, I think, codependent on each other. Um, and there were times that I felt like I was taken advantage of and I never spoke up. And that was my fault. That's where, listen to your advice. It reminded me of my situation. This is a situation that we have moved on from. We have gotten past. We've taken about 3 years to reflect on ourselves without interacting with each other. Now we're reconnected and our relationship is so much better. And so the advice that you're giving people, I'm just saying it is great advice. And if you find yourself in a toxic situation where you're being taken advantage of, yes, it's not always about the other people. Sometimes you got to reflect on what's going on with you and why you're allowing yourself to be in those situations.
So what did you do differently? What did you change?
I stopped being that yes person. I stopped always saying yes because I was afraid of somebody being upset that I said no.
Okay.
I learned how to use that 2-letter word. And it's okay. It's okay to say no.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you.
That's it for me.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonya.
All right. So, learning how to say no. Learning how to say no. All right.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Okay. So, listen. You're so silly. No, no. I'm trying to reach back some of the people whose calls did not go through. And so you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name? Strange things are happening. Strange. All right. So we'll take one more call and then we're done. So here we go. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name?
This is Dee.
Hi, Dee. So you're calling in about the topic of toxic friends.
Yes, I wanted to call in and share my story.
In this story, are you the person who always felt like they were being taken advantage of?
No, I was actually taking advantage of her. I didn't realize that until after we didn't become friends anymore.
Okay, let's hear.
She would always give me really good advice about my personal life. But she would involve herself in drugs that were harder than what I was using. I would occasionally smoke a little marijuana, and she would do harder drugs, so I felt like I was better than her. That she would always get a very bad attitude whenever I would try to talk to her and guide her like she guided me. So it got to the point to where I would just play into these fantasies she had about how she was going to hit the lottery one day, I would listen to them. I would be like, yeah, when that guy gets out of jail, he's going to be with you. I would just go along to get along because I felt like, I was better than her, and we didn't really like reconcile or anything, but we stopped talking. And after we stopped talking, I, reflected on the situation. And I was like, why do think that you were better than her just because you had, a little piece more of education because you weren't doing the harder drugs, She was a good person. She was very smart and older than me, and she always gave me good advice, So, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea for me to talk back to her because it fed into my insecurities. I would be thinking, oh, okay, at least I don't do that, so I can continue to do the little bad things that I'm doing. So I don't think it's healthy for me to talk to her again. But, maybe it would be healthy for me to let her know that, I did use you, and you are a human being, and you are a person, and you are a good person just because you do those things. And I'm not any better than you. I could wind up on the same road or even worse than you are, just, situations in life.
Okay, so how did you realize that you were taking advantage of her?
Well, because I would always feed into these stories. I wouldn't tell her what I really thought. I wouldn't tell her my real emotions. She had met some guy in jail and was sending him thousands of dollars. And I would be like, oh, yeah, he's going to be with you. And she would say, oh, well, I only, smoke a little bit of the water or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I do what I do, so that's okay. I would just kind of go along to get along so I could have her there to call her to talk about the things that were going on in my life, which she would give me good advice about. But I would just kind of pacify her situation and not really help her like she was really helping me.
I see. What's water?
Sorry?
What is water?
PCP.
Oh, okay. And so you felt like you were taking advantage of her by not telling her the truth and just keeping her around so that you can have somebody who would give you good advice. Had you ever tried to give her advice in the past?
Yeah, I had, and it would always turn into a big argument, and she would stop talking to me. I don't have a whole lot of friends, so I just felt like, okay, when this situation comes up again, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to, keep her around to listen to my issues, and when I'm in my little high stupor, it's fun to talk and fantasize, So, yeah, I'll do that with her, and, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, it sounds like in the past you tried to let her know how you felt, but it wasn't received well, so you stopped. So I think that anybody in your exact position, your exact situation, would have done the same thing. You did have other choices to, to not remain friends, but you were benefiting, and she was happy with the way that you were contributing in the relationship. So, because apparently she was happy to have somebody to fantasize with her about these fantasies about the lotto and this guy in jail. So, that's what she needed, and you needed real advice. She needed fantasies. That's why she was smoking the water.
Yeah, I would tell her, yeah, she'd say, well, I've done all these good things for people, so I'm going to hit the lottery. And realistically, in my mind, I'm like, there are plenty of people that I know that do good things, but that doesn't
Yeah,
mean
no, I
that you're
feel
going to
you.
hit the lottery.
You know what? Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciated that input. And so you've decided to do things differently now. What do you do now when someone is coming to you with some fantastical situations?
Well, like I said, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't smoke any more marijuana, which is good for me because I didn't realize how much of a fog I was in. I didn't realize how much, more I could accomplish and retain in my mind if I wasn't high on marijuana. I think if I get a friend in the future, I won't do that because it's not helping anyone. It's not helping. It may be helping for the moment, but it's not helping anyone long term.
Right. I'm asking, what have you done differently? What have you done differently? So you said you don't have a lot
Oh,
of friends. Do you have any friends?
um, well, yeah, I have started talking to a couple of other people more often. They don't use any drugs either, but I've just been honest with them.
Okay.
I guess I haven't really changed my approach in the way I give information because I don't want to be an aggressive type of person, but I try to be more honest with people. I'm not really a person that likes to have close friends. I'm more of like a phone friend kind of person. And so when I do talk to people, their fellow coworkers that I work with or what have you, I just try to listen to their stories and I try to be honest, but still in a nice
Got
way,
you. Got you.
like, oh, well,
All
I
right.
don't think that would work for
I feel you. So listen, we appreciate your story. Thank you for calling in.
me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. And so there was one more person that was trying to get through. And so we're going to try this person again and see whether or not. And then after that, we are going to. After that, look, I don't know, this person is having some sort of phone issues.
Hi, Tonya.
Hi, you're on the air live. Who is this?
Hey, how are you? Yeah, so I'm so glad I was able to make it through.
Yeah, if you're watching the computer, just listen through the phone because the computer has a little delay. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so
So
go.
I do have it on my phone.
Okay, perfect. So are you calling in about, are you the toxic friend?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So,
Is this,
yeah, so
are you about to tell a story about what you have done in the past to be a victim or feel like a victim?
what kind of, yeah. I, um, I had a friendship with these sisters for quite a few years, ever since I was about 15, and I'm 39 now.
Hold on. Why don't
And
let's
I,
listen. I want us to get to the because I want us to really because I want to make sure that this call is in line, right? So give us the punchline, give us the climax of the story, and then we'll develop the story. So what is it that you discovered about you playing the victim? What is it that you discovered? Let's.
well, whenever I would have an event or a party or gathering, anything like that, they would never be there for me. But I was always at most of their events, any of their milestone events. I would always be there to show my support for them, and they were never there for me.
And then so what ended up happening? What did you do about reclaiming your power?
Well, I did cut them off on all social media platforms, and we don't speak to each other anymore. But before I did that, I did let them know or explain to them that I felt as if I wasn't important to them. And now at this point, I don't have any friends. But this was recent, so.
So these were your only
Yeah.
two friends, and the only two friends that you had were people who didn't really support you?
Well, I can't say that they were the only ones, but they were my closest ones.
Okay, but you said that since you cut them off, you said you have no other friends.
Well, actually, I had to cut a lot of people off. So a lot of the other people were my coworkers. We just don't work together anymore, so we're not friends anymore.
Okay, okay. And so what is it that makes you feel that you were the toxic friend?
I guess I felt like I was giving too much of myself
Mm-hmm.
and not placing those demands on my friends to let them know that, hey, it has to be a two-sided relationship and not a one-sided relationship.
Okay. All right. And so you said that the only friends that you really had were these two girls from when you were 15 and then coworkers. What about other relationships?
Well, I have had older relationships with older women, like women who, let's say, I grew up in the church. I don't go to church anymore, but older women who I would babysit for them. So I did have some relationships with them, but they're older women, so it's kind of a little bit of I don't know what you would call it, but we don't necessarily meet eye to eye.
Okay, so then,
But I do have other relationships. Yeah.
okay, so you have other friendships now.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what is it that you do differently in these friendships that didn't exist in the other friendships?
That's a hard question. um, because I don't do the same things. I don't go out anymore.
Okay,
And right
no, I'm
now,
not. I'm not talking
yeah, I just
about. I'm
keep
not
close.
talking about like going out. I'm talking about in terms of interpersonal relating with other people. So part of my concern is, so you were in this long-term relationship with people who didn't support you. Then you had other relationships with co-workers, and then once you stopped at that job, now those people are all gone. So relationships really are reflections of ourselves. And so when you're in relationships where people are constantly quote unquote taking advantage of you, and then you transition out of that, what healing have you done to make sure that you advocate for yourself? What healing have you done to make sure that you're taken care of in relationships? So I'm trying to figure out whether or not you have healthy friendships now where you put up proper boundaries, or whether or not you. So that's what I'm trying to fish out right now.
Hmm. Right, right. So I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have any friendships right now. So I'm right now focusing on myself and my children. And when I go to work, that's my only interaction with people other than my family.
Okay. And have you gotten any type of therapy?
I have not, but I do plan on seeking out some therapy
Okay, what steps are you taking to get therapy? When do you plan on getting it?
as soon as I'm able to afford it. Right now, my insurance does not cover therapy sessions, and it costs about $300 per session.
Where
So
where do you live that it costs $300 per session? Are you like in New York, California, Florida, Canada?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, so you're in Florida. And then what about these online therapists that are much less expensive that you pay for? We're talking about $100 per session, and they have like I think it's called like Heart Space or something like that, but they have therapists that meet with you over video chat. What about something like that?
Okay, well, I can look into that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is $100 a week. Like if your insurance is not covering it, we're talking about $100 a week, which will come up to about $400 in a month, to really be taking steps towards healing. Because if you are recovering from toxic friendships where you were constantly being taken advantage of, or where you don't have healthy relationships inside of your life right now, or healthy friendships with people other than family members, there's most likely some other stuff going on that needs to be healed from the past, some things that got you into those patterned relationships in the first place. So getting some therapy, I think, is a great idea. Even if you have to pay for it out of pocket, therapy can be something that can be long term, but it could also be short term as well. Where you just
Right.
need, some sessions with a very qualified person to be able to. It really depends on how much work you're willing to do and how deep you're willing to look into yourself. Okay?
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, thank you. You have a great one.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So, we've been talking for almost an hour, so seems like a good time to go ahead and end the broadcast here. I appreciate all of you coming out. I appreciate the people who called in and told their stories. I am sorry for the people whose stories I cut off abruptly. There's one more person trying to call in. I'm trying to figure out if this is someone. Let's see. You're on the air live. This is Tonya.
I cut off abruptly.
Hello?
There's one more person trying to
Hello?
figure out.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Yeah, you're on the phone. You have to listen to the phone part.
Okay, I had to mute the computer because it's a
Yes.
late delay. Sorry, this is Jessa.
Yeah, Tessa or Jessa?
Jessa, Jessa.
Okay, hi Jessa. So, what's up? You're calling in about the toxic friend topic?
Yes, I am. I'm not the toxic friend. I feel that I'm more the friend that's been taken advantage of.
Right, so that's what we're talking about. The friend that feels that they are taken advantage of is most likely the friend that's toxic. So if you have all of these
Okay.
relationships where you feel that people are taking advantage of you, you're most likely the toxic friend. And I think that a lot of people get it confused because they're like, oh, these people are doing stuff to me. But really, it's you allowing yourself to be taken advantage of over and over and over again and
That's
absolve
true.
yourself of any type of responsibility. So, how is it that you feel that you were the toxic friend? Talk to us about that.
Well, I think naturally I'm an empath. So when people are going through things and when people are feeling things, I just have to like do something for them, or I just feel all of their emotions. Like when they're sad, like I'm sad. That's just the kind of friend that I am.
Uh huh.
And me, I've always held friendships to a really high, what's the word I'm looking for? To the highest regard.
Uh
And
huh.
that's because I'm 29, I'll be 30 in December, and I've never been in a romantic relationship. So my only relationships have only been friendships.
Mm hmm.
And I feel like this one friend that I have, like she's my closest friend, and I've known her since middle school. We were like 14. She's always been in and out of relationships, and I feel like whenever she's in a relationship, it's like pulling teeth to like get a hold of her, to do anything with her. But when she's single or when she's going through something or if she gets in an argument with her loved ones, like that's when I'm the friend. You know, that's when she knows my number and stuff like that. And when I'm
Okay.
doing good too, like she's I kind of say like she's the friend that's there for a
Yeah,
good time,
so
not
let's
for like a
let's
long
talk
time.
about your responsibility in how these relationships played out. Also, I'm a little bit concerned about you being 30 and having never been in a romantic relationship because I feel like there's some other stuff going on there as well. So, what is your responsibility in this relationship where this person was really not there for you when you were doing poorly or when you needed them or all of that. So, talk to us about that.
Um, I'm not sure. I think it's like multiple different things because also like my relationships and like my family, like it's been the same way.
Where people
I'm
have been
just
taking
always.
advantage of you?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Well, and you said your name is Jessica, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Jessica, Um, this is an excellent opportunity right now for you to really take a look at yourself and your patterns and your habits. Because if you have all of these relationships around you where people are quote unquote taking advantage of you, then you're not really taking responsibility for how you are allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, quote unquote. How you are giving of yourself in a way that's not self loving. How you are overextending yourself or being a people pleaser, or all of the things that
Right.
you are doing where you are constantly allowing yourself to feel taken advantage of or quote unquote taken advantage of, because in all actuality there's another side to the story. And so what are the reasons that you're saying that you've never been in a romantic relationship?
Um, I think it has to do with trust.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like trying to keep it together.
Okay, well, take your time. So what is the reason that you've never been in a romantic relationship?
Okay, I think it has to do with trust and, like I said, when I was younger, like, well, first and foremost, I'm pretty sure some people noticed, like, in my little icon in the chat, but I've always been a bigger girl.
Okay.
And I'm like, I mean, I've been losing weight. Like, I feel great. I'm taking better care of myself, but I just can't let go of some old feelings.
Okay.
So I feel like it affects.
Take your time.
Sorry. I feel like it affects how I open up to people,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's friendship or romantic.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I was never the type of person to desperately jump into a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want one. I don't. I don't see myself like not being in one. But I was never just, oh, I need to be with somebody. That still just never was in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it stems also from like back when I was 5. Like I lost my dad. I'm one of 5. So and my family's Jamaican. I'm the only one born here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But I lost my dad when I was 5, and me and my mother's relationship was never really a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, like, she would put me down and not really encourage me to do, like, encourage me to follow my passions and my dreams and things that I actually want to do. And I just kind of coasted. And at the age of 17, she kicked me out. So I've pretty much been on my own. I don't want to say I'm like all the way on my own because I've been like in and out of contact with them like up until now. But I've pretty much been on my own since then. Like I've been like I went through homelessness like most of my 20s. So I never really had time to, be feminine and date, you know?
Okay. All right. So listen, I applaud you for coming out and speaking your heart and opening up. That's not an easy thing to do, and we're live right now, so it's not easy, but it's courageous because these are the steps that we take towards healing. So I congratulate you on taking the steps towards healing. What are we doing about therapy?
Well, I was actually listening earlier, and I see that there are people in the chat too talking about cheap rates for therapy. So I'm actually going to look that up because it's something I know that I've always needed to do. Like, and like another thing too, like ever since I was a small child, like I feel like I was way smarter, or not like smarter, but knew more or more aware. How am I trying to say this? More self-aware
Mm-hmm.
for my age, like since a
Okay.
very, very young age.
Okay.
So I knew something was always like off. So I was always the type of person to like read. Like I read all the time. So I always read things on like psychology and self love and the types of abuse, like whether it's gaslighting or things like that, and narcissism. Like all of those things like have been going on in my family. And every time I'm the person to like bring up these topics to people who I feel like I get these feelings from, it's like I'm gaslighted or I'm told I'm being like dramatic or playing victim or, just basically being gaslighted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's focus on solutions so that you can
hmm
be healthy mentally first and psychologically first and foremost. There are people inside of the chat, so when we finish here, you just go read the chat because there's some people who have some resources for you in order to help you along on the journey. Um, when it comes to growing up in a household that was toxic, I want you and everyone else to realize that if you were raised in a toxic environment, it's kind of like a cucumber. So a cucumber that is steeped in brine, what happens to that cucumber? What does it become? Does anyone know what a cucumber steeped in brine is?
No, it's my first time hearing that phrase.
Well, no, it's not a phrase. It's a thing. Okay, so people are answering. They're saying a pickle. So you know that a pickle was once a cucumber, right?
Oh, okay, okay, yes.
So that's kind of like us. You know, we're born in as these tiny little cucumbers and we're birthed into the brine and we grow and we grow and we grow and then we go out into the world and we're like, "Oh, I came from this toxic home, this toxic environment." But, I'm okay. It was those people who are toxic, but what you don't realize is that now you're walking out into the world toxic because
Right.
you've been steeped in this brine. You learned how to love from a narcissist. You learned how to love from a
Mhm.
person who was abusive. You learned how to love from a gaslighter. I'm not saying you particularly, but I'm saying in general. So it's like you go out into the world and you get into these friendships, and these friendships are a mirror.
Mhm.
The relationships are a mirror, or the lack thereof are a mirror that's being held up to us. And there comes a time where we have to be like, let me take a look at me, because if you look at your life, how your manifesting is going, what your money looks like, what your body looks like, what your friendships look like, what your self-love looks like, what your environment looks like, how your relationships, are they healthy, is your bank account healthy, are you feeling psychologically healthy? If you look at your life, and even if you don't know whether or not you are a pickle, right? If you look at your life and your life has the accoutrements of a pickle, then at some point we have to take a look at ourselves and be like, "Oh wow, you know what? Maybe I've been pickled." And that's when we have to go steep ourselves in the fresh water. And that's when we have to let the brine soak out. Because we have to, at some point, we have to realize all of these people that we thought were taking advantage of us, and all of these people that we thought were doing all of these things, that it was really a cooperative relationship where you participated in it as well. And so
Exactly.
right. So if we have a bunch of friendships, this is why I talk about friendships, because friendships are voluntary. And so if you are voluntarily in relationships with people who you feel are constantly taking advantage of you, you have to take a look at yourself, because the only common denominator in all of your relationships is you. That's it. You're the common
Mhm.
denominator.
And, and I just wanted to say one thing as well. I'm sorry to speak over you, but I don't have that many friends. I only have three close friends because I'm such a loner and like a hermit at the same time. Like I'm such a nerd. I just read books, play video games, go to work, go home. But I feel like with this friend in particular, I think why I've let it go on for so long is because I have no problem like cutting someone off if I feel like they're being disrespectful. But I feel like it's because of how long I've known her. I've pretty much excused the codependent relationship in the friendship.
Okay. I didn't say codependent.
Like
I said
one of those things like,
cooperative.
oh, because because like it's same thing in like a romantic relationship. Someone will put up with someone because I've been with them for so and so amount of years. Like
Right.
that's why
So,
they
okay. Look,
stick with
that
it.
listen. We already qualified the statement by talking about multiple people around you that you feel take advantage of you, not just one person, but multiple people, including
Mhm.
family members. So even if you knew her 30 years or 30 seconds, if you have a lot of relationships around you where you're constantly feeling taken advantage of, the only common denominator is you. That's it.
Mhm.
So look into therapy, and let's stay up about how everything evolves. Okay.
Okay, I definitely will.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much, Tonya.
Okay, have a good evening. Okay, so we're going to transition off of the phone call. Like I said, I am traveling today, so I just wanted to pop in and pop out. I see that there's another call that's coming in. I know that we would love to stay on here all day, but I do have to go. And so this is why it's important to turn on your notifications so that you're here early in the broadcast and that you're able to to participate early rather than waiting until after we are off. All right, so listen, I want to reiterate for everyone as we motion out of this broadcast. I want to reiterate that our relationships really reflect something back in on us. And we're all great people. We're all wonderful and amazing people. Nobody is saying that we aren't. And I think that where a lot of people make the mistake is, like when it comes to, like, no one will admit that they're racist, because the idea that they have in their mind of what a racist is this horrible, evil boogeyman who doesn't belong anywhere in society. However, when Donald Trump said that some of the people who were racist were also very fine people, it's true. People are multidimensional. We can have these things going on and still be, still have amazing other things happening inside of our lives. Nobody is a complete monster. Even the most abusive spouse or husband or whomever has redeeming qualities about them. And I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, because they think that if I need work, that must mean that I'm bad. If I need to shift some things, if I haven't been, a completely loving partner to other people or myself, that means that something is wrong with me, etc. So there's nothing wrong with you. You're a great person. The people, even your mother, the people that we're calling these narcissists and all of these other things, they're great people too. It's just that they were programmed in such a way. And unfortunately, if you were raised in a household with a person who had some psychological issues, if a person had some sort of diagnosable mental illness, then you were raised, this is where you learned love, this is where you learned family. You don't leave from a situation like that without that affecting you in some sort of way. So please do whatever it is that you need to do to have therapy. Get therapy. Get therapy. And realize that just because you have some, look, I've gotten therapy. I wouldn't be able to sit here before you all today if I had not. I've gotten therapy. There's a troll here. Thank you. Somebody got on top of it. Thank you. We do have moderators in the room. So thank you, Mod, for getting on top of that. So, let's see. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. I'm sorry for that brief interruption. I just had to take care of that real quick. So if you have, do whatever it is that you need to do to get therapy. If you have to pay for it, if you, I mean, just think of it as an extra grocery bill. I promise you, like a grocery bill to feed your soul. I promise you that you will find a way to create the income to cover the extra cost. Because at the end of the day, this is your life, and you exchange a day of your life every day for the activities of that day. So I've had to get therapy. And it's very difficult. And it's like even people with good lives who had good upbringings, therapy can benefit you as well, because we come into these lives, nobody escapes from childhood without any type of trauma, because we as human beings, we have things that we come into this life that allow us to grow as souls. And so nobody escapes from childhood without any type of trauma. And so you grow up and you work on those things. You work on those things. I've had to work on relationships that I've had with my mother, the fact that my mother died and I had not seen her. I was away at college. I've had to work on all different types of trauma, childhood sexual assault, all of these things. And at the end of the day, it all becomes worth it because it revamps the quality of your life. When you take your life, like we did the dust hour yesterday, and we were talking to one man who was 51, and he has not created any type of way for him to support himself financially. But his life is important. The rest of the years that you have to live are important. It doesn't matter how old you are. Even the next day, the next week, all of these, your time here on this earth is important. I wrote this book, the Book of Affirmation Self-Love. It's available on my website, TonyaTKO.com. It's also available on Amazon. And on Amazon, they ship it Prime. When you get it from me, I autograph it. So there's a few different ways for you to be able to get it. I ship the books out once a week on Wednesdays, and I do live book signings here on YouTube. You can buy the book. I'll sign it for you on Wednesday and ship it out. On Amazon, they're not autographed, but you get, sometimes in some places, you're getting it overnight. The book is doing really well on Amazon, so they've put it into their overnight program. And so in this book is an affirmation book to help you rewrite your subconscious programming. And just like we were talking to LaRon in the beginning of the phone call, and he just really wasn't able to see himself. And he ended up hanging up the phone call on us. And the crazy part about it is that you all like to laugh at the people on the dust hour. You like to laugh. However, when that light gets shown on you, when that light is shining directly on you, and you have to ask yourself some questions, and the seat gets hot, it's not a laughing matter then. It's not a laughing matter, because looking at yourself, because you know what, we hear all sorts of things about ourselves growing up, from our parents, from dates, from society, from police, we hear all sorts of things about who it is that other people think that we are. And we have to go on the journey to discover who it is that we really are. So it's like when you go on that journey, you discover some things about yourself. Like I speak out loud to you all, and I tell you that yes, I have the ability to be rude. Yes, I do. I have the ability to be rude. And I say that not as a bragging point, but as a way to really own the fact that no, I will not always take somebody else's feelings into account above I don't want to necessarily say myself, right? I have the ability to speak the truth from my point of view in a way that I feel is tactful, right? I speak in a way that I feel is tactful, and in a way that I'm in alignment with. However, what's the name of the troll? It looks like they're taken care of. I see the stuff that's deleted. So I speak the truth in a way that I'm in alignment with. And I'm okay if certain people consider that to be rude. Thank you, Miss Pink Secrets. I'm okay if there's certain people who consider that to be rude, because I'm not on a crusade to make sure that my words are palpable to everyone. That's impossible. It's impossible. So that's why I say, because I don't go out of my way. I'm not a mean girl. I don't go out of my way to attack people or this, that, and the other. But I can own the fact that I am not a people pleaser. I please myself. I work at being fair and loving to everyone, but I know that everyone is not going to see what it is that I'm saying and doing as loving. I know that there are going to be some people that when the light is shown on them, that they have any number of feelings that are associated with what it is that I'm doing naturally. There are people who end up being offended by all sorts of things. And I own the label of them referring to me as rude, because I am dichotomous. So if I have the ability to be polite, politeness is a choice. I also have the ability to be, quote unquote, what some people would consider rude, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is stifling my voice. What I'm not okay with is being vicious towards other people. I'm not okay with that. I work at creating who it is that I choose to be and emanating love out there towards other people. However, I'm aware enough to know that everybody won't see it that way. I'm aware enough to know that people are going to have their own interpretations, and that's okay. And there are some people inside of the audience that are like, um, I wouldn't consider you to be rude. I consider you to be truthful or stern or forthright or or setting boundaries or all that other stuff. And that's okay that you choose to see it that way. The ways that we see things are a result of something going on inside of us. So it's like what my words, like there are people who will come across my page and they will be offended by my page. And they'll start writing about how I should do all of these things differently. Part of the reason that people do that is because there's a part of them on the inside that allows for other people, the words of other people shake them and move them into doing things differently. So then they pay that forward and they're like, you should do things differently. Rather than them taking ownership for being in a space that they don't resonate with, rather than doing that, they're like, you should change, because they're the ones who are bending over, pulling down, and giving people sandpaper and then complaining about the pain of it, because that's how they do things. So they pay that forward. And so they don't know any other way. They don't know any other way but to do it that way and complain the whole time. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we don't know. We don't know whether or not we're the toxic friend. We don't know. But look at your life. How does your life look? Are you happy with where it is that you are in your life? Because trust and believe, trust me when I tell you that if you are not happy on the inside, there's nothing on the outside which will make you happy. I remember when I was in Mexico in 2015 and I was trying to write that book. This was around the time that Trump came out with his words, they're rapists, they're killers, they're sending their this, that, and the other over to us, right? And I remember I looked out my window one day, and down there it was like a hill. I looked out my window and I saw this family. They had brought their couches outside because it was hot in Jalisco. It was so hot. They brought their couches outside. They had their TV out there, and it was a lot of them that came from this one little house. One little house. And they sat out there in communion, laughing together, eating tortillas together, having their habichuelas. They were eating their arroz and their pollo, and they were eating their, I forget what's the word for frijoles. They were eating their frijoles, and they were having their Oaxaca cheese, and they were enjoying themselves in the revelry. I love the Spanish word disfruta. I love that word because it's so rich, and that's the only thing that I could do. Like when you're having a really good time, disfruta is the only word I can think that will really encapsulate that word. I mean the feeling. So they were out there having a good time, even though they didn't have money. They didn't have a mansion. They didn't have a big house or the accoutrements of success or wealth, but they had each other and they had family, and they laughed in the lap of love with one another. And it's like, if you're happy on the inside, the little things, a little color TV with the antennas on the outside and a couch outside of the home where the outside breeze can come to you, and your family's there with you, and the little ones are running around, and the butterflies are flying through the air. The little things make a tremendous difference. Or Or you could be unhappy with yourself and there's nothing, goddamn nothing, nothing, nothing that will satisfy that feeling that can't be quenched on the inside. That nagging feeling of emptiness and dissatisfaction on the inside. I'm telling you, gratitude is a godsend. Gratitude is a godsend, but you have to be in a place inside of your life to be able to experience gratitude, to experience the joys and the love of the life that you have with nothing. And you know what? And I remember when I was displaced, and this is the last story that I'm going to tell, and then we're going to get out of here because, like I said, I'm on the road today. I'm driving north today. And I remember when I was displaced, and I was in torment about being displaced because I had always weighed myself according to how much money I had. That showed how successful I was, how good I was, how worthy I was, how much money I had. And one day I was towards the latter part of the displacement. I got in my truck and I had the air mattress in the back seat. And in a pickup truck, you have glass on the back right there. You have the glass windows. It's 360 degrees surround. And I remember I was laying there one night and it was cold. It was so cold because I was up in the mountains and it got so cold at night. It got so cold that it was snow. And I remember I was sitting there with my 20 degree. I had gotten a sleeping bag that would warm you as low as 20 degrees. And I remember I was laying there with my blanket and my hat and my scarf and everything inside the sleeping bag, and I looked up and I realized for the first time I was surrounded by stars. I was surrounded with the light of the moon. And I had a 360-degree view to the cosmos. And it dawned on me that night just how beautiful it was. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm sleeping in my car. I'm out here in nature. I really don't know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to get there. But when I looked up at that sky that night, I realized that it was beautiful. And I said, you know what, Tonya, you have the choice to sit here and feel bad about your circumstances and your predicament. You have the choice of seeing the ugliness in being displaced. Or you can look around and you can see the constellations above you, the moon surrounding you, and you can see the beauty that you're in because it's all perspective. It doesn't matter how much you have. If you don't feel it inside, if you don't have that joy and that self-love on the inside, that gratitude, it doesn't matter what it is that you have, nothing will seem like enough. But when you have that gratitude, you make enough out of nothing. Listen, when you don't have that gratitude, nothing will seem like enough. But when you have that gratitude, you will make enough out of nothing. And that's when the true abundance begins to fall into place. So listen, I'm going to leave you all on that note. To have gratitude for where it is that you are. To love yourself enough to be able to look at the brokenness that exists inside of you. Because it doesn't matter how good you look on the outside. I remember I had this crush on this guy. Some of you knew who it is that I had a crush on. He was a commentator on CNN. I had the hugest crush on him. And I remember I was listening to a speech that he gave at a college. And in this speech, he was talking about how he had to come face to face with his own brokenness. And I was like, as gorgeous as you are, how what brokenness can you have? He was a successful, accomplished man, and he was talking about his brokenness. And I realized it doesn't matter what it is that you look like on the outside or how much you've accomplished, that you really have to go inward and heal those broken parts. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing. We all have to do it. Even his handsome self, he had to do it. I had to do it, and you got to do it too. You got to do it too. So go out there and see the stars, look at the constellation, look at the love all around you and revel in that, and get yourself the therapy that you need. And so listen, on that note, go ahead and thumbs up the video, close out the chat area and click the thumbs up. We're at 132 thumbs up. I want to see those numbers rise. It matters for the YouTube algorithm. So if you like this video, if you enjoyed being in this moment with me, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Not just in the comments, close out the chat, hit that thumbs up, and then I will see you. I will see you all in the next video. I'm not in the mood to hitch up this whole trailer today. It's hot outside, but you know, this is the life. 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 Thank you all. Thank you. Hit that thumbs up. We're at 146, 209 people on the broadcast. We have a lot of people here for just a simple conversation. So go ahead. Gracias, Pretzel. Go ahead. So Dominique feels so good. If you feel so good, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Get my self-love affirmations workbook. Get my forgive MP3. Some of you who are talking about issues going on in your family. I look like I'm playing the piano. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, 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 doom. Go and get my forgive MP3. I also have a stress relax MP3. Just go to my website, TonyaTKO.com, and click on the shop button and see some of the things that I have to support you. I have this book. I have hypnotherapeutic MP3s to help you shift and change your life. This is what it's all about. At the end of the day, we got to do things to... So here, I'm going to block this person because I'm not really interested in people... I'm not in the mood. We're talking about something serious and people talking about that foolishness. All right. So listen, on that note, I appreciate all of you. Hey, Sumer. Hey, Sumer, Miss Pink Secrets. Everybody give a thumbs up for our mods that we have that handled all those trolls. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Get my book. Invest in your healing. And go to my website, get the Stress Relax MP3, the Forgive MP3. I'm hoping that when I get to the next RV park, I'm hoping that it's really quiet there because I want to do an inner child MP3. I want to do an MP3 for us to do some inner child work. That's what I want to do. All right, so listen, on that note, I will see you all in the next video. Go out there and love one another. Oh, the book just came in. Why did it take so long to get there, Jaquil? I'm hoping it got there before just now. Wow. All right. I'm just going a little bit further north. I want to stay close to the Los Angeles area because there's some things that I need to do in LA before I leave this area. I'm thinking about going to a Burna Boy concert in the Pacific Northeast. I'm thinking about doing that. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I've never been to a Burna Boy concert. So Missouri needs the inner child thing. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to be working on that. Yes. All right, thank you all. Thank you. And have a good evening, everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for letting the ads run. Because the ads are how I get paid from my YouTube channel. So thank you for that. I'll see you all in the next video. All right. Peace.